horrible. You know, she's the first one to put on a false stomach and pop, you know, varicose veins down her tights. And also, because she stands in a slightly hunched way, except when she remembers. And if I say, oh, you know, put your hump into this, she'd do it more. And she's just really good. She just lets you use all these things. I mean, I think I'm really cruel to her. I don't mean to be, but I think I've used all terrible things about her and put them into things, and she doesn't seem to mind.
Bren, I won't stop, sweetheart.
Is this your mum, Bren?
Yeah.
Hello. I couldn't quite remember what,
Philippa.
what she said. I'd taken a couple of Disprol. I was a bit out of it. Bring your mother to work. Was that what she said?
Yeah.
Well, I brought her. I don't know what use she'll be. She might be able to wash up or something. Is it like a youth employment scheme? I'll pop back for you later. Go and have a cake. Ciao.
We do, both of us, play old bags, Julie and I think it's because we love it. I love being an old bag, and I think she does too. Because you can be naughty when you're an old bag. You can get away with things when you're an old bag. And I think she enjoys being outrageous, going a little bit too far.
Miss Babs.
Thanks, Mrs. O. No poison this time, I hope.
Yes, I'm sorry about that. Attempting to murder you was just a silly way of trying to draw attention to myself. I shall need to do it again now you've bought me this lovely blouse.
Well, Mrs. Overall is the main part in Acorn Antiques. It is the what is she? She's the cleaner. She's the cleaner who comes in and out with cups of tea, and she was based very slightly on Amy Turtle in Crossroads, and various other soaps all seem to have this sort of stalwart cleaner.
Whatever's the matter, Miss Babs? Have you got an incurable disease, or is it just the sterilised milk?
I wish it were.
Then what on earth?
I won't beat about the bush, Mrs. O. Ever since Mr. Kenneth left to become a follower of that weird religious sect, Acorn Antiques has been losing money. And this letter you were just asking me about is to Dorcas and Hincaster.
They're not just for discountations.
Yes. Pop it into the pillar box on the corner immediately, Mrs. O. Acorn Antiques is going up for sale.
I was playing Miss Babs quite upright and high heels and high hair. And Julie made herself half her size and spent the whole time looking up at me. Well, it's terribly hard, you know, to keep a straight face. Even now it makes me laugh.
I think Fanny Overall is one of the great comic creations of or anything that I've ever seen on television. What I find intriguing is that somebody who is as attractive as she is, that she gravitates to playing parts that are so unattractive. She seems to have no vanity whatsoever in playing these old boilers, and seems to gravitate to playing people with sort of slightly hunched or peculiar.
If there are a couple of parts that I would want to be remembered for, Mrs. Overall would definitely be one of them. Yeah. So, I mean, working with Victoria is very special, and was and still is very special.
Julie began her television career working with Victoria Wood. In 1980, they became the first female comedy duo to have their own British television series.
Like that, it's all the same whether you play it wrong or not, isn't it? Do you not know any proper tunes? Do you know Dream of Alwyn's? Lovely, that. That were on in Women's Surgical night. I had my cervix cauterised. I tell you what, do a Thary Lime theme. Dun, 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 dun. It's great, that. But that's dead easy. My Uncle Albert could play that and he had a metal plate in his head.
In playing all these old parts, 40 years in advance of the actual age that they are, that she is, I think she's inadvertently guaranteed that she will have employment for as long as she lives.
We had poverty, yes, we had beggars, and my goodness, they were jolly good at it. There was none of this sex you get so much of nowadays. We didn't do it, and we didn't want to do it. Absolutely everyone one knew was a virgin, unless they were a beggar. If one's young man took one home in a taxi from the Ritz or the Berkeley, he didn't come in and have sex. He had a thermos of soup and a chicken sandwich. I didn't have sex at all. Not one scrap until I was 67. That, I may tell you, was only because I couldn't find any small change for the window cleaner.
I always thought character actress or actor was the euphemism too ugly for leading parts. And clearly she's not, because she's very attractive.
Oh. You're not the drinking type, Mr. Griff.
Not really. Doesn't agree with me.
You're not teetotal, are you? Young man like you.
I'm allergic to alcohol.
No. You're teasing me.
No, I am. I am allergic. I've been tested.
Oh, poor you. What a shame. What a thing to be allergic to.
People talk a lot about what a character actor is. And I think a character actor is someone you don't want to go to bed with. Now, that isn't true in Julie's case, because I think that she's very sexy. And that's quite unusual to have a character actress who's as sexy as she is, and I simply hate her for it. But I think it's true. I think that she is one of the very few actresses who can combine a delicious teasing sexuality with a weirdness, a kookiness, an out-of-the-ordinariness.
Bend over. That's for the Inland Bloody Revenue.
In Personal Services, based on the life of South London Madam Cynthia Payne, Julie explored the salacious side of suburban sexuality.
Seeing that Julie didn't know anything about kinky sex, I think she played the kinky bits really marvellous.
This one wants golden rain, Miss Kane. Does she now, Miss Stern? Will you oblige, Miss Kane? Let me at him, Miss Stern.
I loved the script and everything, but it was very hard work. That's what I remember. But what was so weird about it was we'd sit around, and of course there was just porn everywhere. And people would... You see people's faces, I mean, extraordinary stuff, you know, who could be into that, you know? And I'll never forget that we had this lovely makeup artist who was quite posh, actually. And I just remember her opening one of these magazines up and go, oh, this is just, her nail varnish is chipped.
Julie, in the film, looked as she was fascinated by sex, which I was. I was always interested in the psychology of sex, what makes people tick.
The wife wants a three-piece suite. If she gave the man sex, he might be more inclined to come across with the three-piece suite. It may not be a fashionable thing to say, but once you've got him despunked and he's sitting there thinking he's all wonderful, done you a good turn, given you a pair of soggy knickers, in the afterglow of his glory, he's more likely to come across with the Draylon three-piece, don't you think?
I don't think that Julie ever plays what I would call drab characters. There's always something sparky about even the most downtrodden of her creations. You always feel, well, nearly always, I've seen her play failures, but you always feel that they have the potential to go forward, go on, go up, and break through the clouds.
This'll be all right. Oh. Has a double bed.
Yes, so I see, yes.
And you'll have full use of all the facilities. My gentlemen have always been part of the family. In fact, they usually call me Mum.
It's just what I'm looking for.